veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Is this your vehicle? Whose vehicle is it?
It's just a rental.
It's a rental? Okay. Do you have any registration with it? Do you know if they can put it in the glove box?
I think, Ken, in terms of it is a good idea to be answering all these questions right off the bat. I mean, is it you're cooperative, or are you possibly giving,
Calling
the
your
police
rental.
evidence could be used against you?
Just for
Well, I mean, he's kind of in a tough
Is it in?
spot, right? Because he has to kind of comply in some
tour.
What are
capacity.
you doing?
I mean, he's probably hoping at this
I'm on a world
point,
tour.
you know, is the cop going to actually expect that
World
I'm
tour.
drunk? Is
Doing
the
what?
cop going to think that I'm doing anything? I mean, if he just flat out at this point refuses to even talk, then he's going to get arrested, right? Like it's obviously going to be potentially a failure to comply with police commands, resisting without violence, things like that. So he's kind of in a spot where he's probably should be
what's your name?
So
talking.
this makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's listen to what he's saying
Yeah.
here.
Do you have a license with you?
Yeah, I do.
And then when we do this, just like you're doing right now, arms, feet together, arms by your side. You're doing it just now.
Yeah, so now we're getting to the part, right, where you kind of ask, should he be doing this? Now we're actually getting into the field sobriety exercises. All of this stuff is kind of voluntary. So what I usually tell people is that, if you're going to be in this exact position where you're hammered and you know that they're going to be using this stuff against you, I would definitely basically refuse to do any of this stuff. I mean, that's my position on it.
Based on what you've seen so far, do you get the idea that he was hammered?
I mean, he looks a little off, right? Like, I mean, you can just tell the way he's talking a little bit, and the way that he's moving. He seems a little off. I can tell you that if you're not drunk, if you're totally sober and you're in this position, I absolutely think that you should do all of this stuff. But I think that if you kind of are going down the road of, and they know they're on to me, they think that I'm going to get busted, then I would be really careful doing any of this stuff, because they're just, boom, 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 just it's all checklists they can use against you.
Now, one thing that's unique about this case, and we sort of talked over here, but when the police asked him, what he was doing in New York in his rental car, and he mentioned the fact that he was on a world tour, and the police officers didn't really understand what he was saying, because they don't know. They just see they pulled over a BMW in the middle of the night in Long Island. They don't know that it's Justin Timberlake, so they kind of push that a little bit, and he answered, I'm on a world tour. What are you doing? You're on a world tour. What are you doing on a world tour? I'm Justin Timberlake, that sort of thing.
I mean, he was obviously trying to get a little bit of like
Exactly,
celebrity
right.
brownie points,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I'm sure it works sometimes.
That's my question. Does it ever work? Whether you're a celebrity or whether you're just a person who thinks you're charming?
I do think that it probably works in some capacity. I mean, because cops have a lot of discretion, right? Like if they think, and if he's like, oh man, I'm under the influence, cops like, okay, listen, go get a cab, go
Right.
call somebody. I mean, that you see that stuff all the time. I mean, that happens. So he was trying to curry favor, and it obviously didn't work.
Just going to re-explain it before we continue, okay? Arms by side, feet together, and then you're going to keep your head straight, and just keep your head straight, only follow with your eyes, okay?
Okay.
You understand that? All right.
Yes, sir.
So he's thinking he can beat this right now, right? Like, or he doesn't know any better. But right now he's sitting here doing these tests, and
I have to imagine your heart's like pounding through your chest, though.
Left foot on the line first, and then you're going to put your right foot in front of your left, stay just like that, okay? You're going to be heel to toe, like this. Heel to toe. Put your left foot on the line, yep. You're going to have your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put our left foot on the line first. Put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. And you can stay just like that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So this is going to be a series of 9 heel to toe steps. I will demonstrate this like you're doing right now. Like this. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9. Followed by a series of small steps around. 1.
Are these tests difficult if you're sober, or are they only difficult if you're under the influence?
Heel to toe.
He seems to be struggling a little bit with the concept of what to do here.
So it's funny, and I'll stop it for a second. So it's funny because if you look at what the tests are comprised of, these cops actually go and it takes them a period of days. I mean, they go through like this academy where they learn. This is how these tests are performed. This is how you do them. So it's kind of unfair. Like these officers actually prepare and study and take these tests themselves over and over and over again. And now, okay, I've taken this test and I've practiced this test and I know how to administer this test and I've done it over and over and over and over again. And now you're expected to do it late at night under the pressure of an officer. So I think it's kind of unfair,
Yeah.
right?
I remember being younger and rehearsing back when I was a teenager. They would say that doing the alphabet backwards was a big common test.
Yeah.
And so I developed a skill where I could, at any hour of the night, recite the alphabet backwards, start with P, start with S, and do it backwards. And I think that you're right. The more you do those tests, the cops probably have a bit of an advantage in terms of they know exactly how it's supposed to go.
You were preparing for if anything.
Yeah. Do I need that last beer?
Guys, I'm just following my friends back to my house. I'm not like I'm not doing anything. I'm just
Okay.
following my friends back to my house.
What,
See, now he's being weird, right? Like this is
Sure.
the way he's talking and the way he's acting.
Walk.
He's not doing himself any favors here.
Yeah.
Ready? Ready?
I'm a little nervous.
Left.
I'm just
Right foot in front.
Sounds like the officer getting a little frustrated at his inability to understand.
2,
okay.
3,
Got you.
4, like that.
So
Okay.
you-
Hang on.
so-
Let him tell you when to go. Let him tell you when to go. He's got to tell you when to start. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
See, that was kind of
No,
unfair
I
by
wanna
the
make sure-
officer. I mean,
you wanna
we
make
know
sure
he's
you're
drunk
right.
at this point, right? But
Right.
like, I mean,
Is this my line?
the average
Yep.
person is just going to go. They're not going to wait for you to say start, right? It's like,
1,000,
come on.
2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000.
I remember just continue. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Gotcha.
Sorry.
I know I was just making it more difficult than he has to. I mean, but he's just trying to develop his little
5 1,000.
evidence to try to make make it as bad as possible.
Right.
Going?
Yep.
He knows
Yeah.
at this point.
Until I tell you to stop. Yep.
Okay. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3
He's balancing on one foot.
1,000,
Yeah.
5 1,000.
Now there
It's
are
all good.
people that have medical conditions, and there could be reasons why you can't balance
Right.
very
By the
well
way,
on one
you said,
foot.
like,
Yeah, and then
Do you disclose that at this point, or do you just?
so the officer is required, and you can use that against the officer. The officer should, and it's part of the protocol to up front ask if they have any medical conditions and things like that they should be aware of,
All right.
because they have alternative versions of these tests if you don't, right? Like, things where you're sitting, things where you're. So, if the officer asked him that and he responded, we didn't see that in this clip, but he should have done that in the beginning. And that would be something a lawyer, somebody, for example, in our office, if he hires for a DUI, that we would look at. Did the officer go over possible medical conditions, and did they offer alternative tests to basically things that would not be able to be possible?
And presumably for a few reasons, maybe the accused driver here wouldn't remember exactly what was said, just the nerves, the alcohol that's involved. But this is where a dash cam video could possibly be used,
Absolutely.
yeah, in your favor.
Yeah.
So this, I don't know, is his mother?
No way. Don't say it.
Yes. Come back with us. Okay. So you're okay to drive. Okay. I don't see any. Your eyes look perfectly fine. Your speech isn't slurred.
You're
you're
arresting Justin Timberlake right now?
Yeah. we
Stop
are.
it.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I'm hell lame.
All right. Just take a seat.
Here you arrest Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I think she mentioned don't get on from bye.
Right now, he's under arrest
Under arrest?
for driving while intoxicated.
Stop it. Justin Timberlake's under arrest. Can you help
To
me,
say it
please?
again
Can
now.
we do anything?
It's Justin
Can you stop
Timberlake
it?
you were talking about.
I'll do anything.
No, it is what it is at this point.
She's really trying to use the celebrity more than he was, actually.
I know, right?
He's going to be held for the night.
I
And then
can't
he's
take him home?
He's arraigned for the morning.
There has to be a moment
This
of
is
talking.
the mom?
I thought it was his
Please
mother.
help me!
Not anymore.
Hold on.
Okay.
So
Hold on.
this
Can
is,
I?
this is the registration of the vehicle. Just make sure it stays with the vehicle, okay?
I have his phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you guys please just do me a favor because you loved bye 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 or
I'm
like
happy-
sexy back?
so- I'm
Like
happy-
do me
He's
really
one
pulling on
favor.
it.
Let me
Yeah.
ask him if he wants me to give him his phone.
Yeah. I mean,
This is
that's-
insane.
So it's not going to be a long thing. I'll let you walk up real
Please.
Probably a double-edged sword. Maybe the police officers were not fans of boy bands.
I don't know the details, obviously. I wasn't the one to stop to.
I think at a certain point too, it's like, trying to be above the law. I mean, it kind of probably annoys a regular person when it probably would have.
Did a series of routine
Yeah.
tests on you, right? Field sobriety tests. Okay.
So they're explaining to him right now why he's seated here, handcuffed to the
Based
wall.
off of his observations, you are intoxicated.
Okay.
So you were under arrest for DWI. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. All we're asking is
I
if
mean,
you
you can tell he's
understand
hammered.
what was just read to you.
Yeah, his eyes just look
I
glassy.
hear you.
Perfect.
And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reread this again. We're gonna go through the rest of it, but at this
No,
at
I
this
got
point,
you. I got you.
At this point, it asks
Is
for
there a
initials.
reason
If
that
you
this
don't want
video
an
would be
initial,
blurred at
you're
this
not
point, or is that
required
just
to.
a production choice, do you think?
You can't be
I mean, the
forced
dash,
to, and I'll
the
I'll
body
have
cam
Ray,
video is never
he'll
blurred,
read the
right?
rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, this would not be blurred in any sort of,
Okay.
thing
read
that
the
the
rest of it.
lawyer would receive.
Okay.
Maybe it's possible because this was released in
Now,
some sort of
do you
media
consent
capacity
or
to the
refuse
public,
to the chemical
where
test?
people did not want their images to be
No,
reviewed,
I don't
or
mean
sent
the
out, and maybe that
test,
officer
like,
for whatever reason didn't want
guys, I
that.
don't mean no
But that
harm.
I don't
Like,
see a reason for that to be blurred if that was, somewhere else.
We believe you to be under the influence of alcohol and
okay,
operating in motor vehicle, right?
okay, but I don't mean no harm.
I didn't say you did, right? Everyone makes a mistake or two in their life, right? You had too much to drink, you drove the car, right?
Okay.
It's whatever,
So is that some sort of an admission against,
I'm not here to
interest?
judge
He
you.
didn't mean any
We
harm.
got a job today.
I mean, so
So,
when you're talking to them and
I
you're in
appreciate your
custody,
understanding. By the way,
I mean, there's be a good argument that that part of it would not be really admissible because I don't hear Miranda being read to him fully. I mean, maybe I missed it while we were talking, but
what was the
you're
traffic?
supposed to read full Miranda, let him know that he has right to a lawyer, that he doesn't have
I
to
told
talk.
you
I mean, he's
just-
kind of
just
goading
so
him
I-
into
just so I
answering
can
questions.
finish
Hey,
my
we made a
verse.
mistake here. You made a mistake. It happens. Blah blah blah. I mean, so he's kind of asking him, and he's in custody. He told him he's under arrest,
Start over?
and he's getting answers out of him that he wants. So that'd be a good argument for a suppression.
Is it dangerous when the police start acting a little buddy, a little familiar with you to fall into that? I mean, do you think at this point Justin should be more alert to the fact
I
that
was just following
possibly the
my
police could
friends.
use any of this?
I understand, but
I mean, I think at this point he probably knows. He probably took some sort of, on top of the field sobriety. There's probably some sort of breath test somewhere in here, and he's probably at this point.
No, he actually refused a breath test.
Oh, he did. Okay, I must have missed that
Yeah.
part. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if he's going that route where he wants to contest that he was under the influence, then yeah, he should have been a lot more on guard with protecting against that because,
Like anybody else, okay?
obviously there's an argument for suppression, but you want to do everything you can to try to keep as much stuff out as possible.
Most people, a lot of people don't
Because they can
know
show a lot
properly,
of this
like,
video and a lot of the conversation if there's some sort of informed consent video where that you're being videotaped. So you got to be careful.
And this is his first time around. I mean, some people are frequent flyers, It's not like a Tiger Woods kind of person where he's got multiple DUIs and kind of knows the drill and has talked to lawyers. He's just kind of coming in cold as a regular person.
Yeah.
Is there anything specifically about it you are wondering, or just
No. I just wondered, like you really cuff people up and like.
Yeah. I mean, you're in our custody. We have to make sure that people who we lock up here don't leave. You can't just leave. We gotta process you, everything like that. Your safety, our safety, things like that. It's just standard protocol.
Gotcha. I appreciate you boys for doing your job, man.
I appreciate that you.
Now he's kind of leaning on a little bit thick.
We gotta do
Yeah,
our
I
appreciating the
appreciate you
police
boys
for
doing
detaining
your
him here.
job. I had one martini and I followed my.
Oh, he's actually being sarcastic. It looks like
Yeah.
he's not.
I appreciate
He went
you
from
boys
being
for
nice
doing
to
your
laying
job.
it on to.
So he did admit to one martini.
Flip it over real quick before we sign.
White? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man.
So you're being held for the night, and then in the morning is the arraignment. So in the morning, usually around 9:30.
Being held all night?
It might not be this one. You might be over at the other one, and they actually have blankets for you.
You guys are wild.
And just so everyone knows, this idea about arraignment in the morning, very different protocol by state, right? Like, for example, like this idea of being held over and having to go to an arraignment in Florida, for example, your first appearance is different than an arraignment, right? So in Florida, again, I'm guessing this happened probably in California or
New York.
New York. Okay. So in New York, I guess the first appearance is called an arraignment. In Florida, for example, your first appearance is called the first appearance. It's just an initial appearance that you go before a judge. They look at probable cause, things like that. The arraignment is a more formal process that happens after formal charges have been filed. and you go to a court probably a month or two after your initial arrest. So
Okay.
very different procedure. So when you're hearing the word arraignment in this video clip, it's very different than the way that it's interpreted in Florida. And
Is it fairly typical that you would have to spend the night in jail though?
it is, yeah. They usually have first appearance holds, and a lot of these holds, it varies by crime. More serious crimes will have a first appearance hold, requires you to actually show up for first appearance. For DUIs, a lot of times they do it because they don't want to release people that are intoxicated back into, like, okay, quick bond, you're out and you're drunk walking around the streets 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So they will put a first appearance or an IA hold on you until you get to first appearance, and then you can bond out. It gives you a chance to detox overnight, get the alcohol and the drugs or whatever it is out of your system, and then start fresh, clean with a fresh bond the morning.
Okay. Now Justin seems to be objecting to his selected quarters here. But in a larger city, I mean, this is a beautiful jail cell compared to if you're in Orange County, Florida, right? Or if you're in Miami-Dade County.
So I'm trying to look at it.
It's a private cell, no one else is in there.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that if you look at some of these like first appearance holding facilities, you might have like 20 or, like, for example, in Florida, you might have 20 or 30 people in a room bigger than this, but it's 20 or 30 people, right? So maybe 3 times the size, but you have like 20 people all in that one room. I mean,
You think would they segregate the DUI suspects, or is it you're just going to be tossed in with whoever they're arresting that night for, you know?
so there's different like quadrants, right? Like usually you'll have kind of like the lower end county stuff kind of housed together, and then you have, sometimes the more serious, felonies and attempted murders and things like that in a separate holding area. And they'll run through, like, for example, the judge might look at, here are all the DUI cases, and here are all the county theft, county ordinance cases, and here are all and they'll do it in segments just so the judge can kind of read through them quickly. They have a general idea of what section they're on, and they'll go through it cleanly like that.
All night?
It might not be this one, you might be over at the other one, and they actually have blankets for you.
You guys are wild, man.
And again, like I said, you can make a phone call if you would like, the attorney and things like that. You're allowed to call right now if you wish, or you can call later.
Yeah, any point you want to make a phone call, let us know.
Yeah.
Right.
You are entitled to.